Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the numeric editor from Infogistics inside of your ASP.NETMVC applications. What I have in front of me is an MVC project inside of Visual Studio 2010. I've created some model data and some controller setup so that our information can be passed over to our view, where we're going to create a numeric editor control and connect it to our data coming from the model. So let's take a look at the model and what we have set up there. What I've done is basically I've created a person class with some attributes. So we have a first name, last name, age, join date, salary, and a phone. Now since we're using a numeric editor, we're going to bring in the age attribute or age property of the person and display it in a numeric editor that we're going to create in our view. So if we come to our controller, what we're doing here is in the default index view, which is fired up anytime you run your MVC projects. We're creating a new person object and we're assigning some properties to it. So first name, last name, and age, join date, salary, and a phone. And then we're passing off that person object to our view. So here you can keep an eye on the age. We have set the age to be 37, and that's what's the information that's been basically transferred over to our view, where we're going to create our control. So if you now come to our view and go to index.cs HTML page, you'll see that nothing has been defined here. So we're now going to go ahead and write our helper. So first thing what I need to do is I'm going to make the view aware of the model. So we're going to say model MVC jQuery videos dot models dot person. And it's going to know that okay, the model contains the information or the metadata for a person, and I'm going to use this to get the age attribute off of it. And you'll also see that I have a using statement up here because I have the project pre-configured to include the Infogistics references. Now I can use the IntelliSense that's available in Visual Studio, and that makes it easier to work with the helper extensions. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to start writing my Razor helper. I'm going to say html.infogistics.numericEditor4. Now I'm going to use the for extension because I know the property in the person object that I'm going to be connecting to. But in case you want to display a generic numeric editor which is not tied to any model data, then you can use this other extension which doesn't require any overload, any input. So we're going to do editor 4, and we're going to tie this to our age. So we can say model and model age, which is going to give us the person's age object that we were passing in. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the data mode to be integer because we know it's an age property. It's not going to be a decimal or double. So we can set that explicitly here by setting up data mode property, and we can also set up a null text. If you want spin buttons here, we can do that too. So I'm going to set button type to be text editor button type spin. So it's going to display a spin button next to my editor. If I were to use this for any other purposes that requires decimal input, like such as price or other things, then you can set those properties as well. If I want to set up it to be disabled, I can do that. And you can see in the IntelliSense here there's a bunch of other options that you can set, like the max value and the min value. For example, if I want to do that type of validation on the client, I can do that here. A negative pattern and a positive pattern if I want to set that up. But for now, we're just going to call the render method so that our control gets rendered onto the client. And we'll close the helper and let's run this page. So here we have the value of 37. The person object had the age set to be 37, and using their helper and binding it to our property in the person's object, we're able to grab that value and put that directly in our input box. So the MVC took care of sort of hooking up the editor control with the property in our object. And we have the spin button being displayed. So as an end user, I can click on the increment button, and it would increment the age and then decrement the age accordingly. So again, in this quick video, you saw how you can create a numeric editor control using the MVC helper in your Razor views and bind it to your model data very easily. Thanks for watching this video.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.